literally whatever project you're working on, when you complete it and you do it really, really well, it makes you more valuable and have more to offer. So what happens to the people you're connected to? You can be more valuable to them.
Let's take it back. Hey, everybody.
Good morning, evening, noon, and night. Can you watch this on any given time?
Oh, my gosh. She's so weird, guys.
I was about
so
to say
weird.
good morning, but I'm like, what if they watch it at night?
It may be good morning in China somewhere.
It may be.
I'm sorry.
But hi, everyone. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day or have had a fantastic day if you're listening to this at night. We are truly, truly excited to come to you all at this moment because we are literally preparing to launch.
Yes.
And we thought it would be a great idea to come in for a very short time and talk about life after you actually have worked and labored and just literally, we haven't even launched yet. We're literally launching like in a matter of days. But the feeling we have now after just pouring out so much and just being in that place where we're just trying to take everything all in, because people are literally, just contacting us, supporting us, encouraging us, and a lot of things like that. But we're just like trying to breathe, right?
Yeah, like get a bit of fresh air. It's literally overwhelming, especially when you're praying things and they come to pass. Nobody tells you when you're praying. Like, people always be like, oh, be careful what you pray for. Be careful what you pray for. But they don't tell you really. They don't really talk about the cost part of it. They don't talk about the cost of it. They don't talk about when you're laboring and the harvest is coming in, how tired you're going to be.
Yeah.
How you have to keep your eyes open because you don't know who's who sometimes.
And alert.
You have to be alert and aware. They don't tell you how heavy the obstacles will come. They don't tell you when you're chasing your dreams how you could really get knocked down like
1,000 times.
1,000 times and have to get back up 10.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? I don't know what you're going to do with the rest of it, but it's just a lot, but it's overwhelming. And it's also beautiful when you get to see the things that you've prayed for actually come to pass. When we started this podcast, we didn't even think or imagine we were going to even talk about some of the topics that we talked about.
At all.
We didn't even think that we were going to be having as much fun as we've been having.
Yeah.
We didn't think about how much of a move it will be in the space that we were, like really seeing God really show up on a whole nother level. We didn't think that we would have to cut some people off. We didn't think none of that. Like, we just wanted to give people a glimpse on what it was to feel like to actually have somebody that you love and support working with you, who's like, literally, I'm a woman, she's a woman. And we wanted to show other women how to love on one another, support, and not compete, like literally change the culture. And we didn't know in the midst of changing the culture that our culture and our daily dynamics of life will be changed as well.
Yeah.
And literally every topic that we went over, we like literally were enduring
that
and persevering through every moment of each and every topic that we gave. So today's topic
is, can we get a drum roll?
Can we get a drum roll, please? Today's topic is, can I get a refill? Can I get a refill, Jesus? I need to be filled up because literally they have so much going on and it's great stuff. But it's like, how do you take care of yourself in the midst of this type of thing? So we wanted to talk a little bit about self-care. You want to be there for people. You want to put out these projects. You want to be the best of the best because we are the best podcast.
Okay.
But it's like, when you're putting out your best, you don't understand this as well as you're putting out your best effort to be the best. You need to be your best at taking care of yourself as well.
That's good.
we tend to put a lot of things before ourselves because we look at it as, oh, we don't want to be selfish. We don't want to, make people feel like we don't want to be there, different things like that. But to be honest, if people love you, they will say, I understand what you're going through at this time. It's time for you to take some rest and really recharge yourself. You need it for where you're going.
Well, I think even with that, I've been talking to friends all week long, and literally the conversation has been, they're not overwhelmed because of the projects they're working on. They're overwhelmed because they're trying to help other people in the same capacity that they've helped before they had the projects, right? Mm-hmm. So we're talking, like, for example, let's say you go, like, I don't know, hiking up a mountain, right? Literally, the amount of cargo you carry on your back before you got there, let's say on the trip to the mountain, right? We have a car full of stuff. We have this, we have that. Along the way, you can't carry all of that and get to the top of the mountain at the same time. So what happened in the conversations that I've been having is that people have been trying to carry everything that they took to the mountain up the mountain. Now, that's a word. What you take to the mountain is not to be taken up the mountain. And so we have to understand our capacity, and we have to also and I'm gonna do something about it. I'm gonna have a conversation about it later, but we have to give guidance on how to support people while they're in that process of birthing something new. Yeah. And what happens is, like you said, if they understood, they'll say you need to recharge, you need to refill, but they don't understand. Right. And that's the biggest issue. The word says, and get understanding. And literally, things are not taught or learned until it's experienced. And I found, just working on projects big and small, that people don't understand the depth and level of pressure until they're under it. It's hard to explain. I shared with you, I was working for an organization, and we were working on an event, a huge event, and it was like a $30,000 contract, right? Mm-hmm. And we had to really press in and have faith that what we signed on would actually come to pass. But people in that time didn't understand when I was like, I don't want to talk. Literally, I'm just going before, like, I'm in prayer all day, every day, making sure that the event and the project I was working on really happened. And so literally, until you get under the pressure of signing your name on something and having to produce that what you agreed to pay, you don't understand the depth of the pressure that's applied. We trust God, and we know He gonna come through and all of that. But until the coming through happens, you under pressure, you under fire, intense fire. And that's what anything that you're working on. If you're working on something, you're under a lot of pressure. And I think what happens is we try to, and it's no fault to the people that's demanding from us. It's really, we are not communicating properly that we can no longer be available to that same extent or carry the weight of other situations at this time because we're carrying a bigger weight now for ourselves.
Absolutely. And that just reminds me of this quote. Y'all, I love doing quotes because it just gives us that extra, not even validation. It just gives us that extra opening that we need. Like, it gives you that extra meditation you need. So I want y'all to be able to meditate on this because I thought this quote was really profound for this time. And I actually just found it. So that's funny. The quote says, people who do a job that claims to be creative have to be alone to recharge their batteries. You can't live 24 hours a day in the spotlight and remain creative. For people like me, solitude is a victory. And that's from Carl Ledgerfield.
Okay, Carl.
I think that was...
I think but that goes back to what we said earlier. If I'm not creative, I'm not going to understand that language. Mm-hmm. So in order for me to understand, and literally, even if the person even when people try to explain to you, still not going to understand.
I wouldn't even say if I'm not creative, because think about when you were doing your workshop. Like, I was just trying to get the faith aspect of it. I didn't understand, not even that I didn't understand the weight, but I was more worried about, look, you're getting deterred by your emotions. Let's get back to God. Let's get back to God. Let's get back to God. and you don't think, like, I didn't think about the pressure. I thought about your position. You feel what I'm saying? Or I didn't think about I thought about your position. I didn't think about the pressure. And I think that's going to be another word for somebody. That's good. I thought about your position saying, oh, you got to hold it. You can't be a leader and doing this workshop. You got to remain in this place and you got to stand before God. I didn't think about the pressure and the intensity that it was having you in the position that you were in until I got into it myself. Y'all don't know this, but as of now, I am going into another realm of my life. I mean, of course, y'all have known from time to time. I've told y'all that I sing. But God has been doing a new thing, you know? He been doing a new thing, and it's like, with this new thing, it's a real faith walk, and it's like me not being in the background anymore. He's like, you got to come to the forefront. This is your position. And in this position, it comes with a lot of pressure, but you still got to stand in your position no matter what. So I'm happy that he even brought me back to that time when we talked about your workshop. When you told me that earlier, he brought me back to me looking at the position and not the pressure. So now that the pressure is applied, I can't abort my position because the pressure is applied.
Come on.
So as I look at it, there has been so much pressure that's been on me because this is the name of this event is called From the Shower to the Stage, guys. It's about me and my journey of overcoming being a shower singer and going to the stage. Not necessarily really stages, but really just coming to the forefront. Because when you're on the stage, it's the forefront. So it's about me talking about overcoming those fears.
As a soloist.
As a soloist, right? I've had so much trouble with it, even though I've been doing it my whole life. I've been having trouble with it, and God is like, nah, not this time around. So it's been a lot of pressure trying to get all the musicians together, trying to get all the background singers together, having other things come into my phone. I mentor as well, teenage girls, and it's like they have their issues. I have friends, they have their issues. I have family, that's another rack of issues. And just, you know, my own thing going on, and it's just a lot of stuff. And we pray, but it's like when you pray, you have to not only pray and believe, but you got to even understand what you're saying. Because sometimes prayer can be rehearsed. Yeah. It's like when you get in that position, you already know what to say. But now as I'm praying, I'm being very intentional about my prayers, because as I'm praying it out of my mouth and as I'm listening to my ears, I'm applying it as well to my whole situation. Yeah. When you're praying, it's supposed to be the truth of your heart. Literally, your heart is speaking from your mouth and your ears are listening to what your heart is saying, and it all comes in alignment. And that's where the belief comes in, because it gets to a point of desperation. Mm-hmm. To me, I feel like when I'm praying now, it's a point of desperation. I need this to move. I need this to happen. I need this recharge. I need this refilling. I need to be filled up in order to be secure in the position that you have me placed in at this time. Pressure, all that. I need to be secured in this place. So when I'm praying, I'm like, I'm asking you to move, but I got to feel like you've already moved. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? To allow the pressure to not knock me down. Because pressure can be applied. You feel what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I hit you. I really hit her. But pressure can be applied, but pressure don't have to knock you down.
And I think as you were talking, one thing we always go to God and we need, right? But God is always like, you have everything that you need in this point at a time. So though, it's not even, we like, well, God, I need to be refilled. And God is like, do you need to be refilled? And if you do need to be refilled, why? How did you get to the point where you are depleted? Because if you don't get to that, you're going to keep coming to God for a refill ever more often than you should. And so we'll never get to the point I don't think no one will ever get to the point where they'll figure out how to balance it all the time. I think every once in a while you're going to have to take a moment and just shut down and refill. But sometimes we're asking God for a refill, and God is saying you need to re-strategize. Because you're getting depleted because you are not using proper strategy in this season. And what you've done in the previous seasons, what got you here won't get you there. Okay. And so this got you here, but where you're about to go, what's waiting and what is required to get there, so that, we talk about exercising and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know what I could press, but I press more of my legs and my upper body. And
you don't need to be talking about workout because you don't work out.
So what? So no. Listen, but that literally, like, there's a different weight that's going to come. And he's like, it's not that you don't have what you need. You've used all of this in these areas when this was supposed to be used to give you the strength to get through that moment. So you can't allow other people's emergencies, other people's feelings, or other people's emotions to drive you and all that kind of stuff. And then and like I said, it's not even their fault. It's your responsibility to say, I don't have the capacity to do all of this in this moment because I'm working on this and this has to have my undivided attention. But when I get time, I'm going to get to it. And however it falls is where it falls. And I've learned that it's funny that we're in two different positions now, because at the beginning of the year, I was just telling her so now things have settled in our life tremendously. Mm-hmm. At the time that I was trying to do, that I did the workshop, my life was upside down. Like, it wasn't like, I mean, God had really was like,
tell them about the workshop.
So, if you all don't know yet, I've written a book, which is an international Amazon bestseller, by the way. It's called Aim High, Create a Blueprint to Conquer Your Life. And so I did a workshop called the Aim High Experience for visionaries and people who just want a new start in life and who've, read the book or purchased the book or whatever. So at the workshop, as the workshop was, as we were preparing for the workshop, literally the workshop was in January. The first week in January, when I tell y'all, I mean, my life got turned upside down. And everything that was familiar to me in that moment became very unfamiliar. And so I was dealing with internal battles. I was dealing with mental and it was just a whole lot of stuff going on. And on top of that, you having faith to actually produce a project. God had been giving me the date. And he literally, let me tell you, somebody else had something on that date, a really big event. And I was like, well, God, I don't want, and now this is what I'm saying. Like, this is just a little quick moment for y'all. When you want God to move, like when God ready for you, whatever he's telling you he wants to do, he gonna move people out the way. He don't care who it is. So literally, I was like, well, I don't have I can't do it in January because I don't have no date in January available because other things are going on. And he was like, what date you want? And I was just like, as far back as, like, it was like, I want the last date as possible. So the last date was the last Saturday in January. But when I tell y'all, he moved the very, like, look, that's another.
Wow.
Literally, I mean, like, and he moved it, like, in January, like, in December, January, probably like that first week. Like, he was like, girl, sit down. So I'm like, oh, he's serious. Nonetheless, I just wanted to encourage somebody with that faith walk moment.
Wow.
And even to I'm gonna say this one later, but I want to encourage y'all. Like, literally, my life was upside down, and this is how you know God is pulling you, because in the midst of my life being upside down, he's telling me to create and produce. He's like, I don't care what's going on, you still got to get this done. And I'm like, I need a break. I need a minute to take this all in. I'm under a lot of pressure. He's like, you're gonna be all right. Like, he literally like, it's gonna be all right. And I'm like, God, it's not all right. Like, this is not okay. My life is not okay. It doesn't look okay right now. And he's like, no, it's okay. But in those moments, he always bring me back to the time I studied for the bar, to the time I studied for law school. Moments where pressure was applied severely because I had money on the line. When you have money on the line, you move different. So in law school, when I had to study for the bar, we talking about thousands of dollars for a prep class. We're talking about time every single day away from my family and friends. I literally had to shut down. We're talking about working like 9 to 5 and studying, but I'm studying like 12 hours a day, like really intense stuff. Like, literally, my phone on Do Not Disturb. Nobody can get in contact with me but 5 people, and 3 of them are in my study group. That type of thing. And he's like, it's not that it's impossible. It's how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
And so when I was in law school, I couldn't do what I did prior to attending law school. I started to feel so overwhelmed my first semester. I started to feel anxiety. I start to feel like my friends pulling, my family pulling, all these people pulling, and I'm stretched too thin. I'm depleted. I'm still trying to be super Sade that I was before I went to law school. And God is like, I sent you to law school to go to law school, not to be able to do everything else you did before. So it was really hard. But literally in these moments now, he always take me back, and he's always saying, you have everything you need. You just not doing it the way it needs to be done, because you're still trying to be who you were in previous seasons, and that's not that. And so in those moments, like now when we're working on different things, sometimes we're getting depleted faster than we should be because we're pouring out too much, because we're still trying to maintain those areas that we should literally be like, this is all I have today for this, and that's it. And trust that God is God. We're not God.
Yeah.
That's what we fall short. We're not God. And I literally was talking to one of my to a friend. And I was telling her that she was overwhelmed. I'm like, girl, if you don't finish this degree and let people, literally, whatever project you're working on, when you complete it and you do it really, really well, it makes you more valuable and have more to offer. So what happens to the people you're connected to? You can be more valuable to them. And I told her that. I was like, you tripping. You being so hard on yourself. Take the time you need away from from everybody, including myself. You know, I have to put myself in there because I pull on her a lot. And I'm like, take the time you need to finish what you started, so that when you come back, I can really use the tools and the resources that you can offer me. Because right now I need them, and she don't have them, but she about to get them. But when she get them, I'm going to need it. So I'm like, take the time. You have to be selfish when you're in a creative space and when you're birthing something. Literally, when people in labor, do you see somebody coming in and asking them to do that? And spiritually,
only thing they really asking you to do is push.
That's it. But nobody is asking anything of you. Spiritually, when we're giving birth to something, I'm in labor. I'm having labor pains. Yeah. I'm having contractions. I'm trying to breathe right now. I need a minute. So stop trying to pull on me and stop expecting me to be this. I'm barely able to keep myself together. Like, my back hurting, I'm breathing hard. Like, it take a minute. Give me time. And then after I do birth what I'm birthing, give me a minute for recovery. And what we don't do is we do it in the natural, but we got to do that when people are birthing whatever visions God is giving them. There's a moment at the end of the pregnancy where it's exhausting, where all you want to do is just push it out. Then after it's pushed out, I need time to recover. And I also got to cover something else that I birthed. So now my pressure is different from the rest of my life on out. Because whatever I birthed, I got to cover. So even after that, I'm still covering. God just dropped in my spirit. But let me tell y'all,
good.
That's intense.
That's good.
People don't give you that time.
That blew my mind. And even with a point of, you said, when you're in labor, is people asking you to do anything? The only thing they're asking you to do is push.
And what you mean?
So that means that everybody around you in your corner while you in labor should be telling you to push, not bothering, but not doing anything other than saying push this thing. If I need to lift your legs, lift your hands, bring you water, make sure you're good. That's all I need to be doing. That's all I need to be doing at this time, is making sure the birthing of this project is a smooth delivery.
That's it.
Come on,
that's your role. Like, that's your role. If you're connected to anybody, birthing something, that's your role.
That's the role.
Literally, I had a friend, and she was just like literally just, checking on me once a week when I was studying for the bar. She was like, I don't know where you at, but I just feel you, but I'm just praying, like, and literally, like, we gonna get together after. But my family wasn't as understanding. Like, they was stressing me out, and I had to, like, put everybody on block. Like, look,
that block is fire.
I don't block anybody, but I had to really put everybody on do not disturb, because it was like people did not understand. They were like, I'm not answering because I'm in labor.
But like you said, like we just mentioned at the beginning, people not gonna understand if they're
not
in it. I didn't really understand the pressure until I got like this intense amount of pressure. Just trying to put on a production. Literally, it is a production. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Trying to put on a production, and then in it, you're not only dependent on yourself, but you're dependent on other people. If other people don't show up, the production is not gonna go and flow how it needs to flow. Yep. So I got a whole nother level of pressure on me. I'm like, if the musicians don't show up, what I'm gonna do? This is not an acapella type of situation. I'm not even looking for it to be that type of situation. If the background don't show up vocally or physically, then I'm left hanging. what I'm going to do? If the location ain't secured, what I'm going to do? It's a lot of pressure. So in this time of pressure, if anybody is in the time of pressure at this time, I would definitely recommend prayer, of course. But I would actually also, after the prayer, I would say take a moment to really rest in God. Yeah. And everybody that's around you, don't be afraid to let them know where you are. Yeah. Because a lot of the times we don't let people know where we are. So we basically want them to just assume. But I believe if they're around you and in it enough with you, they should understand. But sometimes you really have to open your mouth and let people know where you are. And I just had a conversation like that last night. Nobody knew exactly where I was with it. But when I opened my mouth and was really, really honest about where I am and how I feel at this time of pressure, I was able to get a different result and a different resolution from the situation. And it was a better understanding. So sometimes just open your mouth and let people know where you are. Don't be afraid to say it. Look, I'm under pressure. It's getting to me, and I'm on my way under. Start praying. You feel what I'm saying? Even if you want to go into detail, depends on the relationship. If you want to go into detail, definitely go into detail and give people a better understanding where you are. And I believe that the pull will be lighter. Right. If you just be honest and truthful with yourself and just allow people to love on you. And sometimes where we are in our positions with the pressure, we don't allow people to love on us or even give them we don't even give them the okay to do it because, again, we're not speaking our truths and telling them where we are. It doesn't have to be that way, and I'm learning that along the way. It doesn't have to be that way. But that's all a part of recharging. I think honesty, admitting that you need to recharge, definitely is number one. Well, first of all, acknowledging it, and then admitting it to others that you need it, and then actually going into it. That's all a part of getting a recharge and that refill that you need. So I encourage you guys to just get what you need. And the only way you get what you need is kind of like going to that restaurant. I love using restaurant type of situations and scenarios. People don't just assume that what you want off the menu. They can't assume what you want to drink. You have to tell them what you need in order for you to be supplied. Same thing with God. You got to tell them what you need in order to be supplied. So that's my encouragement for all my ladies today. If you're in a place and you feel like you're hitting the walls and it's just things just crashing down and it's not right, and you are normally the strong friend. Yeah. Speak out and let people know what's going on around you. They're not trying to intentionally tear you down. They're not trying to intentionally pull on you. They're just so used to pulling on you, and it's been okay. And now you're in a place where you're in right now, and you have no more to pull on, and people are still pulling, and it's because you haven't said what you needed to say yet. So I encourage you to take that step today. I have, and I'm telling you, it's a whole new fresh win on this side. Yeah, I agree. It is a fresh win on this side, and I didn't feel guilty about it. You know, you can't feel guilty about needing self-care, because if I'm not properly taken care of, then there's no room for me to help take care of you in any way. And you don't even have to be God to take care of anybody. God allows people to come in your life at a time to really give people what they need, period. But again, you have to say how you feel so things can just flow like they need to. That's my encouragement. It blessed me.
We're gonna do another segment of this after we release the podcast, because this part is just communicating. This would be like a part one, just communicating where you are to others so that you can still be able to flow and function without being pulled in a million directions. And then you being comfortable with articulating that. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about, once we have those conversations and once the very thing that you're working on has been launched, what do you do to actually get into that place of restoring yourself back? And then we're going to come back again probably and talk about life after the launch.
Oh, that's a good topic. Life after the launch. I love
Definitely.
it. And I kind of want to leave this question to set on people. We're not going to give any answers about it, but I want y'all to think about this. Why are you in a place where you don't feel comfortable speaking about your needs
To your people around
to the
you.
people that's around you?
Yeah.
Why aren't you not comfortable about that? That's a question. So really think about that, because it's something in you that's not registering wholeheartedly. You saying you want the freedom. You saying you want peace. You saying you want people to understand. But if you're not, whatever that is in the way of causing you, whatever that is in the way that's causing you to be discomforted or uncomfortable, I think y'all need to address that part right there.
Yeah.
It's important. So, guys,
we just wanted to leave y'all with a little 1-2 because we're about to launch in a minute, and it's just been so many things that's been coming across our doorsteps. But we are definitely in a place where we are refilling and we're taking time out. We're going to go do some things today just on our own to uplift and encourage our spirits and to keep us in a place where we are not hungover in the bed, can't get out the bed because we are just so drained, right?
Right.
So we love y'all, and
we love you guys.
We are rooting for all of you to continue to be your best and do whatever it is that you're charged to do in this world, whatever you're doing it at around the world. And we are sending all of our prayers and love and heartfelt encouragement to anybody that's in that space where they need to be refilled. So first, let's talk about having a conversation. Let's have a conversation with people around you. That's the first step. Let's be able to articulate our thoughts, our feelings, and our emotions. And then we're going to come back and share some more insight.
Awesome. And we're excited, guys, for you and taking that new step of just being honest. We're excited about you and your recharge and refill. You're going to feel so amazing when you come out on the other side.
So amazing.
So amazing.
Let's take it back.
So, guys, we want to thank you again for listening to the best podcast where we are building essential sister truths. We are your hosts,
Aranisha Taylor
and Sade Womack. We want you to follow us, subscribe, post, and share.
And guys, continue to love on us. You can find us on Facebook at Building Essential Sister Truths, and on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, Best Network Live. We love you guys.
And we're building us
to empower